Thank you, Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, and I would like to call this meeting to order so that we move to the very crucial areas of elections. The meeting is called to order. Your Excellencies, I would like to invite you to turn to item 2 on the provisional agenda, and it's entitled Election of the Bureau and Adoption of Agenda and Program of Work, and that is contained in document E/ECA/CM/563 Rev 3. Are we there? In this regard, I have been authentically informed that the Bureau was elected on 28th February 2024, and that was by the Committee of Experts on the proposal of the outgoing Bureau and on the basis of consultations that were held, and which has competently carried out its work for the last 3 days. And I would like to request you that I read the composition of the Bureau. The chair of the Bureau will be Zimbabwe from SADC, or Southern Africa. The first vice chair will be Egypt from North Africa. Second vice chair will come from Central Africa. They are still consulting. We still don't have the country. Third vice chair will be Cote d'Ivoire from Western Africa. The rapporteur remains Uganda from East Africa or Eastern Africa. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, I propose that in accordance with our long-standing tradition of this Commission, if there are no objections, I also propose that the same members of the Bureau of the Committee of Experts constitute the Bureau of the Conference of Ministers. Silence means consent. Your Excellencies, once again allow me to take this opportunity to thank the members of the outgoing Bureau and our Secretariat of the UNECA for the guidance they gave us throughout 1 year. Would like to state that we will continue working together even as we now move out. Uganda still remains rapporteur, and therefore we'll still have opportunity to continue working together. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, it's now my honor and privilege to invite the representative of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Professor Muthuli Nkube, the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, to take over the new chair of the Bureau of the annual conference of the African Ministers of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Your Excellency, you can take up to the podium and receive the mantle of leadership.
Let me say a few words. Yes. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, colleagues. The Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and the Executive Secretary of the UNECA, Dr. Clever Katete, honorable colleagues and esteemed ministers, ambassadors, heads and heads of mission, invited special guests, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon to you all. It is with immense gratitude that I stand before you today, representing the Bureau of the 56th session of the esteemed Conference of African Ministers of Finance, Planning, and Economic Development. Allow me to extend our collective appreciation to member states for electing Zimbabwe chair of the incoming Bureau. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our outgoing Bureau under the able leadership of Uganda for their commendable service and dedicated efforts over the past year. A round of applause for Uganda. Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great humility and honor that I accept the role of chair of the Bureau of the conference. My heartfelt appreciation goes out to all members for your confidence in me and in Zimbabwe. I'm committed to serving with unwavering dedication and to continue the legacy of robust collaboration set by our predecessors. Honorable guests, as we navigate through a pivotal moment in our journey towards sustainable development goals and the aspiration of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want of the African Union, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The challenges we face threaten to undo our strides in economic, social, and environmental progress. Yet amidst these challenges lies an unprecedented opportunity to pivot towards inclusive green economies as a critical avenue for sustainable and equitable growth. Despite our continent's abundant wealth of natural resources and its potential for sustainable development, the gap in green financing remains a significant barrier. This gap undermines our efforts to address climate change, reduce emissions, and preserve our environment, all crucial for achieving our collective goals. Within the tapestry of Africa's vast natural wealth and burgeoning potential lies a stark paradox: the financing gap. This chasm not only hinders our strides towards environmental stewardship, but also reflects deeper systematic challenges, which are infrastructure deficits, technological divides, and limited access to capital markets. These challenges are compounded by a global financial architecture that often fails to recognize the unique socioeconomic dynamics of our continent. As a result, critical green initiatives remain underfunded, and our ambitious climate action plans become difficult to execute. As African nations, we must address these complex financial barriers with innovative solutions that reflect our unique context, leveraging our collective will to bridge this gap. During our discussions at this ministerial conference, let us chart a course that harmonizes domestic and international funding from both public and private sources. Our focus must remain on strengthening Africa's development financing framework and mitigating debt vulnerabilities to ensure a more affordable cost of borrowing. Our strategy must be multifaceted. We need to bolster tax administration capabilities, curb illicit financial flows, and widen our tax base through value addition. Trust and transparency in our regulatory environment will attract investments and improve our credit risk perceptions, while access to concessional funding demands the recapitalization of development banks and a reformed global financial system that meets the needs of our nations. Moreover, we must embrace blended financing models to mitigate risks and efficiently mobilize private sector financing. Emerging technologies offer us new ways to enhance our tax collection effectiveness, expanding our tax base without increasing rates, and leading to a stronger and more self-reliant development financing structure for our economy, for our continent. Additionally, the empowerment of small to medium-scale enterprises, SMEs, particularly those led by women and the youth, engaged in sustainable practices, is fundamental to fostering inclusive growth. Within the framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which heralds a market unified in its commitment to eco-conscious investments, this means this is even more important and more critical. This ensures that growth not only blooms across our continent, but is much nurtured by the hands of our dynamic youth and the strength of our women, positioning Africa as a global example of green and inclusive prosperity. In closing, I pledge on behalf of the incoming Bureau to collaborate with each of you, the UNECA, and all our partners to foster innovative financing solutions, tackle inequality, catalyze sustainable and prosperous development across Africa. I am optimistic that our collective wisdom will lead to fruitful discussions and concrete outcomes for the betterment of our people and our beloved continent. I eagerly anticipate working alongside each of you to realize our shared aspirations and make a meaningful impact. I extend my deepest thanks for your attention and participation. I thank you.